One, we are live. Hi, everybody. We
Hi.
have Terri Suzuki from Kigaru Spiritual Journeys, and I am SunPsychic Jean. And we'd like to just welcome everybody. And I'd like to have a little um, feedback from everybody to let me know what you think of the new background.
Mhm.
I'd like to have a little fun. It's Friday night, and we're going to have some great discussions. I think we're expecting Kelly from dzncats4me, and I do know that she is just finishing up on her channel. She's probably one of the busiest YouTubers that I know. So as soon as it comes around, whenever it's convenient for her, we'll just have her join us. So, how are you, Terry? What's going on the West Coast?
Oh, well, I am doing quite well, and the West Coast, is, at least where I live, is raining. It's raining several days, and so I've been doing inside projects, even though I love to be out in the yard. That's usually where I shoot all my videos, is out in the yard. But it's too rainy for that, so I have been doing some inside projects, like I put a new mantle on my fireplace. I just bought and built a gorilla cart, planning on moving things in my yard. So I am getting ready for outdoor work.
That sounds like fun. That's great. Thanks, Dave. Maud says it looks very colorful. We do have different options, but we figured since it was Friday, we would go a little crazy here. Hi, Beth Knight, Juno, Dave Maud, Cartomancy. Let me see who else. Yeah, the whole gang's here. You guys are all here. Beth, Knight, everybody. Thank you guys for stopping by and coming and joining us. So tonight, what I'd like to do is we're going to do something a little bit different than what Terry and I usually do. In honor, OT Barb and Deb McCain and Kathleen J. Lightworker. Thank you guys for all coming. That's so sweet of you. Aw, Wisdom Seeker Jones says it looks great. So while we're waiting for Kelly, I just wanted to let you know what we were thinking about doing. We're going to talk a little bit about wellness with Kelly and kind of get an update and a little more um, discussion about what her observations are. And then we're going to talk a little bit more about spiritual concepts. And then maybe at the last third of the show, we'll take some questions from the chat. We'll do it that way. So a little bit of both. And I just wanted to honor Kelly and welcome her to the show. And I did see her pop in earlier, so maybe she's just getting things together and she'll be back. I do know she was just finishing from a live that she was doing, so we'll give her a few minutes. So one of the things I'm really dying to talk about is the awakening. And I'd like to ask everybody in the chat what your uh, understanding of awakening may be. I mean, I think it's a little bit different for some people. Um, but I was just wondering, Terry, do you have anything that you'd like to share about maybe the awakening, your awakening, or what you might feel awakening includes?
Hmm. I actually am happy you're talking about this because I've been a little bit confused by it myself a bit. I guess what I
Right.
think I know, I think I know, so maybe I don't know. Um, that the awakening is less like planet or something like that, but the awakening for me is awakening to our heritage, our rights in melody, um, and acknowledging the gifts that we have. We're all born with gifts. Every single one of us has gifts from spirit, and I think is just us starting to know about them and starting to use these gifts. Anyone who's kind of heard my stories, I didn't even know I had them all my life. I didn't know. I mean, I knew they were around, but I didn't know that I could control them in any way, shape, or form. And that's all I know so far. I am willing to listen to other opinions, though.
Yeah. 1 second. And whoops. Kelly's just saying that she had to restart her computer, and that's no problem, Kelly. There's just relax, take your time. When you get here, you can come on in. There's no rush. I know you just finished a live.
Yeah.
So we're just talking. Oh, ah, okay. So T Barb wants to share. She said the difference between now and then is feeling the power, connection, seeing the miracles, and creating the miracles, existing in joy. Wow. Feeling the power and the connection and seeing the miracles, existing in joy. That's really, really great, T Barb. That's really, really great. Um, Let me see if there's another one that I may have missed. Somebody else wants to share how they feel. Dave Maud says to see things in its true light and live from the heart. That's very, very good, Dave. That's very good. That's very good. I don't know if anybody else wants to chime in and share. I'd like to have like a group discussion, you know? Well, in the meantime, while you guys are working on entering your comments, what I would like to do is, for me, what I feel the awakening is for me is to realize that I am a a soul. I am a soul of energy that exists somewhere beyond here. And that an aspect of my soul is what I carry in my heart, in my human. And that this human is only one experience of my soul. And I have I have awakened to this a reality or this perspective or this knowing, and you try and live your life with this knowing at the same time, living in joy, living from your heart, recognizing the miracles. All of that, people say those things differently. They can describe them differently, like T Barb said. They can describe them like T Barb said, the power and the connection. That's me feeling the connection to my soul and feeling the power of my soul in my heart. And when I should have just kept them starred. Sorry.
Here too.
He's,
Hey, Scott.
oh, Scott, God love you. He's here too. And when Dave says, see things in its true light, that's us being a soul living a human experience, and having that piece, that aspect of your soul is inside each and every one of us. And it sounds a little sappy, but it's it's what I feel everybody would be really helpful for everybody to kind of understand and live by. And let me see, is that I don't see Scott. Oh, there he is. God love him. Hi, Scott. How are you? I don't know. Is there anybody else wants to share? Oh, God. Here he is. Here he is. Okay, Scott did this. The awakening is having the connection to spirit in which we understand how to evolve relationships. Very good. How to evolve relationships. In the connection to spirit, connection to our like soul, and connection to all the spirit, to all that whole realm. Live in the love and compassion concept, releasing fears, yes, because that's the human side of it, and anger towards others, and live grateful with grateful and live grateful. You're right. Absolutely, Scott. Scott,
Mhm.
ding, 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 ding. I think you hit all the bells.
Mhm. Kathleen also has something to say there.
Great.
You know,
Okay.
kind of follow Scott said, that's something also that I believe about this ascension is that it's not just love and roses all the time, but it's also part of us learn to let of the shadow part. But I mean, not to be fearful of it, but to go ahead and embrace it. And I think unity really shows this. They are so, you guys chat are so kind to each other, so absolutely wonderful. And you,
Uh, Terry, can I interrupt you 1 second? Kelly is here. I'd like to welcome Kelly. Hey, Kelly. And
So
the other
sorry.
thing, Terry, is you are breaking up. I mean, sometimes you just go in and out, but you're really breaking up at this time. I don't know if you
yeah.
want to move closer to that router or not. I don't know. Or if you can switch to the other. Hey,
Oh,
Kelly, did you hear what I said? I said you are one of the
yeah.
hardest working YouTubers I know.
Oh,
Oh,
thank you.
I didn't do that.
I treat this like a job, so because otherwise I don't think that I would be getting the most out of the experience that I'm having, which is fantastic. And so I'm having the time of my life, and you know, the more I do, the more the readings come naturally to me, and I'm just having so much fun. So thank you very much for inviting me. I appreciate it very much.
You're welcome.
Happy to be
You're
here.
welcome.
Hi,
So if
Terry.
you see the little runner at the bottom, we are having wellness and spiritual discussions with Kelly
Beautiful.
and Terry. And what my first point would that I wanted to hear from the chat and from each one of you is, what would you describe the awakening or your awakening? How would you describe it? And if I can, Kathleen's been so patient. She's written her, she said, we are a body, mind, and spirit. We are souls living a human experience. We have more power than we realize. Absolutely, Kathleen. Thank you very much. And that was also my um, similar to my definition, where I said I realized that I am a soul having this experience, and a small aspect of that is inside of me, and that when you know this and you awaken to this, you live your life with purpose. And Scott said it beautifully. I don't know if you caught any of that on your phone if you were listening. And so, how would you say your experience with an awakening would be, Kelly?
Well, um, I am just catching on to the fact that I am awakened or awakening, I guess I should say. Um, there's really no other way for me to express it. I say it often. Each time that I am able to evolve, each time that I am able to take a step forward, each time that I'm able to release, forgive, a little more joy is brought to my heart, and I just feel peace. And I haven't felt that in 10 years. So um, that's the definition for me. It's ever moving, ever evolving, and it just gets better each day. So
I agree that it's like an onion, that we have
true.
layers and versions of understanding. Like, I've been in this pursuit and spiritual journey for 25, 30 years. And
Wow.
I've had, layers peel. And it's just amazing how much reinforcement that we actually do need to hear this, understand
Absolutely.
this, to put it into practice, to behave and speak and treat and let him, like when we're driving, let
Yeah.
the person in.
Yep. Yep.
It's
Absolutely.
I just feel myself moving closer and closer to living in harmony with my spirit, with my soul aspect.
So beautiful. It's really interesting that you say that, because that's one of the things that I find the most fascinating about, being a part of this community. And that is that everyone is completely different, but yet we're all the same, right? In terms of, when I started my channel, I mean, I knew what an oracle card was, but I never picked one up before. I never had a deck of oracle cards. So I only started connecting with oracle cards in November. And then in January, I started learning how to read tarot. And when I think about that, just in the timeline, I'm not like a seasoned reader by any stretch, but I am definitely connected. And it fascinates me and makes me smile every single day that the connection is getting stronger and stronger. And I love the fact that I can sit in the same space as someone like yourself who's been working on it for 20 or 30 years. And I'm not sure what Terry's journey is, but like that we can all share the same space and still connect with each other and make our connection between the three of us even stronger. I mean, that is such an amazing thing. And I don't know another field where that can happen. And I just think it's beautiful.
If I could, Kelly, if I could maybe suggest that you may consider that I had a person ask this question, and the knowing came through at that time, that you say that the connection is getting stronger and stronger, but what Spirit told me is that the connection is as strong as it ever will be. What is changing is your ego and your disbelief and your interfering with that is falling away, and your internal doubt is falling away, so that the connection is less not interfered with. The connection is as strong as it ever will be. It's just that we need to get out of the way. And this is the process of the layers, getting out of the way, forgiving, living in joy, seeing the miracles, all of these things that we've been programmed into. And if we're programmed, that means we're able to be deprogrammed and reprogrammed. So just as a suggestion.
That's why we're here, friends. That's why we're here.
So to know that you have everything that you need. It's all right there.
I love that. Thank you, Jean.
You're welcome. And Juno has a comment here. She says, don't take myself seriously. That is really a big one for me too. And lay your burdens down. That's beautiful. Your hands can't be free to create if you're carrying a life of baggage in your hands. That's great. That's really, really, really great, Juno. You're right.
An amazing reminder.
It is it not? It's a beautiful reminder.
Yeah.
I love that. Don't take yourself so seriously, because Spirit doesn't want us to be, burdened and worried about, what our hair looks like. Just live from your heart and from your soul. Let's see. Scott has another comment here. We as infinite souls we will, of course, continue growth. I'm sorry, my glasses. What's the point of knowing everything and all the abilities? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing to strive to or strive for, or, no room for growth or no room for improvement. If you think you've already, like I know everything, so I don't need to, I don't need to study anymore. That kind of, I get that.
Infinite souls, we will, of course, continue growth. That was good. Good, Scott. One moment. Let me just.
My body could continue growth. I stopped growing the minute I started growing. I feel like, because I'm so short. That's why I said that.
I don't know what happened. I think it just jumped. Where was that one that I had? Oh, here it is. Butterfly Kisses. It says, Butterfly Kisses says, it is an awareness that we are all connected and we are limitless in what we can achieve. All the answers and keys are within us to unlock our gifts. Ask and it is given. That is so true. Butterfly kisses healing. That's really, and that we are all connected. And we are all connected to everything, even the ones that we don't really think so fondly of. Even the little bug that's been caught in my window, between the window and the screen, and I can't open my window because the bug's going to get out, but I don't want the bug in my room. So, I mean, we are all connected. You have to send it love, and I don't want to kill it. I'm like, please just find your way back out as you found in there. He's
Yeah.
still in there. He's still alive. But yeah, we are all connected to the trees, to the clouds, to the little squirrels, to the little ants, to um, the oceans and the mountains. I know I'm getting kind of deep, but we are all connected. Butterfly kisses healing. That's beautiful. That's really beautiful. I like that.
Deb H. Purple Elephant has an excellent comment.
All right, let me just scoot on down there.
It's 5:20 my time. I don't know what the difference is though for you guys. Sorry.
Yeah. I know for me, one of the things that I've been like trying to wrap my head around recently is the fact that, we do live in a world of duality, but really thinking about oneness, really understanding that, I'm having a hard time grasping that. I mean, I get a little bit of it, and then I got to think it over again.
Yeah. Well, I think that makes sense though, Terry. When you think about it, I mean, I relate to that in terms of my anxiety and the fact that if I look at my anxiety as a whole, I can do that sometimes, but when I get anxious, I have to break it down into the simplest of terms, and sometimes I have to like do a review, right? It's not that I don't know it, but for whatever reason, I have forgotten it or I've not practiced it, and so it is like a consistent and consecutive, conscious sort of thing that I have to do every single day, and I sort of relate it to when I used to work in the group home. We would do like individual program plans for people, literally training them to use the washroom. And it is amazing how you could take one person and break it down into 20 steps and take another person and have to break it down into 70 steps, right?
Oh,
Everyone goes at their own pace. Everyone learns at a different level. And until you absorb the information, right, and then continue to practice it, sometimes it just sort of skips through you. Do you know what I mean? And that's when you need to go back and review it. And so to me, when you said that, I'm like, I totally get that because I have to do it all the time. I talked about this particular practice that I do. It's called CBT, which is cognitive behavioral therapy. And for anyone that deals with a mental health disorder, they've probably heard of that term before. So it's literally changing the way that you think. And what I mean by that is the way that you process the information. So if I hear a statement like, you're fat, you need to lose weight, that's like all kinds of wrong, all kinds of negative. And so what I need to do is I need to take all the negative connotation out of that statement and interject positivity to it. And I have to do that with everything that I read, everything that I ingest, and everything that I put out. And I have to do it, because if I don't, I will slide down and go backwards. And so it is a consistent and consecutive effort and a practice that I have to put in every single day in order to do that. And there are times when I forget and I fall off, and then I have to go back and redo and remind myself why that positivity is so important. And when I do practice it, I feel completely different.
Mm-hmm. So, I love it. That's amazing.
That is really good. So Holly Deshane says the gifts we are getting to get comfortable with doesn't mean we don't still struggle. It's just we're able to get through it with grace. That's very important too. I've just been feeling a lot of collective energy lately. And and Dave Maud said, life is fragile. When you see and hold a loved one's hand and feel their last heartbeat and feel your own heartbreak, you realize how simple things in life mean, how the simple things in life mean everything. You're right, Dave. You're right.
Yeah.
Relationships, people are the most important um, in for a human experience.
Yeah.
That's how we learn. And here's Purple Elephant, Deb H. She says, I think a part of the awakening is realizing this is a practice. Wow. We can't try to be a spiritual person for a couple of months and expect to be an expert. Ah, it's a lifelong practice. You're right, Deb H. You're right. And it's this is the unpeeling of that, onion that I was referring to. Um, Thank you for that. Thank you. That is so true. So true. Well, thank you everybody for being here. And I didn't need to start off on a really heavy note, but I've just wanting to I want to put up Kathleen's message too. I just wanted to get started on a little bit of a spiritual discussion. I wanted to talk to Kelly about wellness discussion, and then sort of little bit of wellness and one third spiritual, and then maybe in one third we wanted to maybe practice pulling some cards. I was hoping Kelly, if you would help me, and I know that Terry is um, a little more experienced in pulling cards in the last third of the show. So but I did want to kind of just talk about it because it's been on my mind, it's been in my heart, and I just wanted to find out and have like a group discussion, let everybody weigh in what they feel, how they describe it. And it's a little bit different for everybody. For
Yeah.
me, I can just feel that soul part of me
Yeah.
inside my heart so much lately. Like it's almost like they're saying, we're here. But anyway, I'll
Yeah.
stop talking about me.
No, but
Kathleen,
that's beautiful that you shared that, Jean, because here's the thing, right? When you share those experiences, it's possible that someone else is experiencing that same thing and they have no idea how to identify it or what it means. And then to hear you say that in the way that you explain it, which is so beautifully, then they understand that, it's not a bad thing, it's a good thing, and maybe they're a little more prepared for what's happening to them, right?
yeah. Thanks. Kathleen says pressure creates diamonds. You're right. If we have no change, well, that's the different definition of stagnation, but change isn't comfortable. So our ego doesn't like that. You're right.
Yep.
You're right. So if we create and we control the change, then it doesn't have to be uncomfortable. It can be more fun and creative,
I
right?
love the creative part of it.
Mm-hmm.
And because again, not bringing the wellness into it, right? If you said to me, okay, Kelly, how are you going to do this? And I'm like, oh gosh, I don't know. Because I got a list, like a honey-do list of like 5 miles long of all the things that I have to do to keep myself on an even keel. And that seems very intimidating sometimes, right? Especially when you're not feeling at your best. So if I can release some stuff, if I can purge some stuff, merge some stuff, sort my stuff out, I seem to be able to do that creatively. And sometimes that's just going out in my garden and going, okay, what kind of colors of flowers do I want to plant? Right? I'll draw a little map of my garden and I put my plant. I mean, it doesn't have to be like I'm painting something. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't have to be a big thing. It can be literally something that simple. Or sometimes I go out in my living room. Anyone who knows me knows that I do this. I have cushion covers that are all different colors. I have about 20 of them. I know it's really crazy. Bit of a problem. But so I change different things in my living room every so often to change how I feel.
Oh.
And that makes me feel like I'm being creative because I, take the pictures and I make a collage on my phone and I'm like, okay, you know what I mean? Like I get into that and it just helps to really clear my mind and allow me to see something that I've actually done in front of me and I feel really good about it. It lifts me up. It makes me, so happy, puts a smile on my face, and I feel like fresh, if that makes sense. Almost like, think of when you were a little kid and you cleaned your room, or you cleaned off the table after dinner and you walk back in the room, and how that makes you feel. It's that same kind of idea. And it really helps. It's like a little reset button for me. I love that.
That sounds wonderful. I do like that. I do like rearranging, getting new. I have new tablecloths. It's tablecloths for me.
Yeah.
And the different colors and the different seasons and the different motifs, it really makes a difference. And, the bed sheets and things like that. But let's see what Tracy has to say. It's important that I keep trying to read without my glasses. It's important that we help each light grow, as it is our growth as well. You're right. We are all one. We have to remember this when we look at people and maybe not agree with the people that we may not agree with. You're absolutely right. Woof.
Mm-hmm.
That was good.
Yeah.
That was good. I felt that one.
Yeah. I know with the ascension energy, when somebody rubs me the wrong way, usually it's just inside. Now I know immediately to take a look at that. Why is that? Why are they rubbing you the wrong way? Because in general, it's probably going to be something with me. Going to be my problem.
But that's excellent though, Terri. That's excellent that you know what, because like, again, going to the wellness thing, that is something that I was taught to do. And when if you allow the negativity in, that is not your first thought, not your second, not your third. It's like way down on the list, right? You don't go there. And if you do go there, so it's a really important lesson to a reminder to remember to do that. If you can take a step back and look at, now why did I react that way? What does that reaction tell me? Right? Because it's usually something to do with you. They triggered you in some way, but it usually speaks to something that you need to work on, which I just think that's a lovely reminder. And that's so awesome that you do that.
Thank you.
And that again, sorry.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say that is again a practice. I mean, we have to practice that and practice being the observer and getting triggered and say, oh, what does this mean for me? What is this telling about me? What am I here to learn?
Right. One thing that I heard early in my journey. So back to Kelly, how long I've had gifts all my life, but I only discovered that they're there and I could use them like about March 2020.
Wow.
So I'm kind of a newbie, but
me and you both.
Early on, I heard somebody say that, let's say, there's always that one person at work that drives you crazy, that just absolutely is like nails on a chalkboard for you. They said, instead of hating that person, or instead of figuring out how to keep the fight going or how to end the fight and win, why don't you try to remember that quite possibly you made a contract with that person in heaven before you came down so that you could learn something.
Interesting.
And so now when I encountered that, I try to say, okay, what's the lesson here? What are you supposed to learn here? Rather than just immediately dislike them. Although I do have to say, I am cheating a little bit right now because I am unemployed. So I don't have to do that right now.
Well, I think that's great that you do that, Terri, because that reminds me of like a little mantra that I had on my wall, which I do have to share with you about that. Remind me, because it's a hoot. Most of the people know it though. Which is to be proactive, not reactive, right? And so that lesson that you just said reminds me of that statement, and I try to keep that in my mind, right? So instead of panicking, to try to break it down and go, okay, so what about this is causing the panic, right? And then act accordingly, hopefully.
Wow.
Yeah, that's
All right.
amazing.
So Holly Duchesne says, Jean, you're not alone with your feelings. When I said I've been feeling this a lot of the collective lately, she said, been having enormous amounts of what I want to call downloads. We have to release the energy sometimes. Thanks for commiserating with me, Holly. There's just a lot of a lot. I don't know how to describe it. A lot of hmm um I mean, there's just a lot going on. It's not easy being human. It's not easy being um you know uh, citizens of the countries that we're in and dealing with all of the craziness and then dealing with our everyday lives. And, I just wanted to kind of remind everybody that there are steps to wellness and that there are steps to spiritual growth, like going inside. And this is all, like I believe it's like a birthing, what do they call that? When you birth and you have pains, labor pains, we're
Mhm.
birthing a new human. We are evolving into a new density. We're to a new frequency. And this is our growth. And there's growing pains, just like a couple, I don't recall which one said the growth, but it was very appropriate there as well. Yeah, I feel like it's important to talk about. And but I didn't want to make it too heavy, but I wanted to talk about wellness and give people sort of a little bit of language or a little bit of ideas about um steps that we can take, and maybe just describing what our feelings are, and just sharing. I really like to get like a group discussion. Like, we have so many very talented and brilliant people here in the chat with us, and I really love them sharing with us as well.
It's a
So
beautiful thing when that happens, is it not? I love that.
it is.
I did a whole I'm not trying to make this about me, but speaking to that creative, no, seriously, it's about wellness. So I do my wellness chats, right? And um it was getting really heavy for me. And I've actually not really admitted this before, so here's the first. It was getting really hard for me and really heavy, because some of the topics we talk about are hard, and I sort of felt like it was bringing me back to an uncomfortable spot. It was getting really, really hard for me to take deep dives into it. It's not uncommon that we end up in tears at some point or another in our discussion. Um, and so I tried to be very creative, right? And I thought, okay, for a whole month, we're going to talk about positivity, but we're going to break it down. And so the first week, I got out my famous color cards. Everyone knows I've got these, right? And I talked about how color can increase the positivity in our life. And then the next week, we talked about how we can improve positivity in our home, right? Beautiful. And then we talked about how we can improve our positivity around our workplace or in our workspace, right? Then we talked about self-care and self-love and our sleep hygiene routine. And it was, I mean, honestly, friends, it was such a wonderful, inspiring 4 chats in a row. People were interactive. We came up with like 50 ideas that would cost less than $5 to boost our, it was just wonderful. It was such a great collective experience. And it like recharged my battery immediately. And so that whole point that you were saying about the sharing, sharing is caring. This is how we learn. This is how we evolve. This is how we all get on the same page. This is how we support each other, how we lift each other up. And that is the most important thing that we can do for each other, is to continue to support and lift each other up. Because as you said, Jean, adulting is hard. Life is difficult for so many people for so many reasons. We must continue to lift each other up.
Speak, share, let it out. and let somebody lean on you and lean on somebody. Dave Maud, you just said about your labradorite, and I'm telling you, you and I must be cousins or something, because labradorite is my stone. And this also, when you're stressed, it takes the stress right out of you. I just keep this in my hand. I have a couple of them around me, but I have these for when I'm connecting to spirit. But if I have stress, I like to hang on to my labradorite, and it really does change. It just kind of draws the negativity, or the sort of like they're just the yeah, I don't know how to describe um, the extremeness of the stress that you're feeling. It lowers the extremeness. It lowers it to a manageable kind of all right, now I'm just pissed. Rather, something that you can deal with. But it really does just take a lot of that that extremeness out of the stress for me. Yeah, that's very true. We all should, or not should, may want to consider, looking into feeling different crystals and seeing if there's anything that really resonates with you. But I found it by accident, and it changed my life the first day I had it. So I knew it was very powerful. So we are about 2/3 of the way through, and would you like to move on to discussing maybe how to exercise with our third eye, or would you like to maybe start pulling some cards? We have oracle cards or whatever type of cards, and we can answer some questions. So I'll give it to the first two people if you want to talk about the third eye, or if you want a card. The first two people in the chat, you guys are going to make our decision for us. How's that?
I love
what do you all want to do? Chime in and let us know. Woo!
I've got my 10 decks on the table. I'm ready to go.
I know.
I come prepared.
I thought they might. Let me see. Oh, one for third eye. One for third eye. Oh, pull a card. Pull a card. Oh, two for third eye. Okay.
You got two messages
right.
and two third eyes.
Okay. So let's do 10 minutes on the third eye, and then we'll pull cards for the rest of the evening. How's that? All right. So 10 minutes on the third eye. So what I kind of just wanted to do, I was watching Allie's show on Heart and Soul Connected, and Terry, I think you were one of them. Shuffle, shuffle. You were one of them. Well, somebody had asked the question about the third eye, and I thought it was really important that we talk about it and talk about different ways about practicing it and maybe using it. And I think that for me, I third eye is like another name for what I've always used. I think we all have it and we all use it. We just call it something else when we're talking about it spiritually. For me, it's my imagination where I would visualize something. Like if you would close your eyes and you would see an old Ford truck, red with the flatbed, and sort of, and you would visualize this, an old time truck. You've seen it, and you can see the truck, and now you got to open the door and you get in the truck and you shut the door, and you hear how hard the door slams and how heavy the door is because it's like an iron, like a steel thing. And you start it up and it starts and it's very loud. And this is all your third eye. This is all using your third eye. This is when you ask spirit for a message, you practice focusing on centering yourself and focusing on opening up your chakra or crown chakra. And then the messages come through and show up in your third eye. And I think that doing guided meditations is something that really helped me. So what would you say is something that you may have used your third eye for, Kelly? Or okay.
Sorry, I'm shuffling my cards, trying to be quiet. I'm a loud shuffler. Here's the thing. So my third eye, it's there, but I'm not completely tuned up to it. So I do that exercise actually that you gave me in that reading that we did with the green star to try to open it up. I think also Terry suggested one time I was watching you, and you suggested that you did this where you sit and you think, and you've got the pad of paper beside you, and you just see what comes out. I can't make head nor hair of what I'm writing, but like I'm writing, so like something's happening. I'm just not quite able to connect the dots yet. So I continue to do that. But I start with visualization. I'm excellent at visualization, and because I've been doing it for 10 years for my panic disorder, where I literally can transport myself to another place, which is usually my happy place, and that's when I feel like the most peaceful, and that's when I do that exercise that you taught me, where I focus on the green star, or what Terry suggested, and that's kind of how I'm like doing the third eye workout, I guess, is the best way I can put it. So, but I mean, in terms of being connected, I feel things more so than I was before. I'm reacting to things in a way that I wasn't before. Like I'm getting goosebumps, I'm getting hot, I'm getting, like I'm physically reacting to things as I'm reading the cards or whatever the case may be. So I know it's working. I just have to continue to work it out, I guess, or work it out. It's the third eye 20-minute workout is what I'm trying to do.
Well, if I could just clarify with my truck, the difference between me imagining the truck and spirit giving me the message in my third eye is I didn't create the truck. It would be something that would show up just as the truck did.
Yeah.
And describe it, but it would come from outside of, not from my own ego,
Right.
from my spirit. So Terry, would you have a story that you'd like to share about the third eye?
Sure. Well, I've had a wild imagination since my childhood, so I have a feeling I've been working that third eye out a long time. But when I finally became acquainted with some spiritual practices, as I started learning about the chakras, I learned about the third eye. And then in one meditation, I met her. My third eye is her. And I see her in like my head, in like a little white room. And the white room has like, there's light behind the walls, lighting everything up. And this might not be the most pleasant scene for some people, but it's like a eyeball, and it has tendrils going back like a squid, kind of, and it's all blue, very blue, but it's generally asleep. And so when I have to meditate, I have to wake her up, and I just wake her up very gently, very gently. Can you wake up? Can you? And she blinks her eyes open, and I'm like, oh, thank you for coming to the party, And that's kind of how I see my third eye, and that's probably just my imagination. But it's how I see, and how I kind of have to wake her up and ask her to kind of join and to give me the visions and stuff. And
Wow.
I
That's
think,
mhm.
yeah, I think it's just from having a wild imagination all my life too.
I think it's your way of activating your third eye. It's your mechanism that helps you to activate it. And you have the visualization that activates your ability and your spiritual energy center, which is the third eye. And you use that visualization. But I think that you said they gave that to you, right? You didn't, you just walked in and found it.
So one day it just happened to be there, and she opened, it's just one eye, and she just opened her eye. And I
Wow.
also noticed for some odd reason, I always like, hi, beautiful.
Aw.
I did, because
So
it
neat.
is a beautiful big eye, But I very, very nice to her and pleasant, and I appreciate
Aw.
her, and I that seems to be part of it, that I have to say nice things. And I used to have problems talking meanly to myself, and I've been working really hard to not talk mean to myself or any part of me. So, yeah.
That's
important.
great.
That's important that you're working on that, and that you are able to sort of understand that it's not okay to do that to yourself. And the reason why I say that is because a lot of people actually talk very negatively towards themselves because that's what they were taught to do, right? Because they were called names by either, schoolmates, friends, or, in their environment. And it is really a muscle memory where you have to consistently and consecutively tell that little voice, no, thank you, I'm not listening to that today. When it tells you that you're not good enough, you're not smart enough, you're not,
Well,
you're not
and a lot
doing
of times,
enough, whatever.
yeah, a lot of times what I do when I catch myself saying something mean to myself, I often bring up somebody I love, like Jean. I might
Yeah,
say, you know what, if Jean were right here and I talked to her like that, I'd be
yeah,
so ashamed. I'd be so ashamed.
beautiful.
And
The best thing
she
that you
wouldn't
can
want to be
do.
my friend. So,
That's like honestly, that's I love that you said that, Terry, because that is fantastic. The best thing that I have ever done for myself, besides having an amazing experience with Jean and in my reading, and of course Scott helping me, is mirror work. I talk to the mirror like it is a reflection of me that I'm seeing, but I speak to my reflection as if I'm my best friend, or my sister, or my mom. Someone who loves me unconditionally, who's going to keep it real with me, but also keep me safe. It is the very best tool that I have ever used in terms of lifting myself up and understanding that it's okay to own myself. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, so that's amazing that you do that, because it's such an important thing for people to know.
Yeah, I want to thank Scott for that too, because I do that too often. I think I heard that from Susan Lynn as well, and they may have collaborated.
Yeah. I don't know how many people know this, but Louise Hay, she's the person that actually coined the phrase mirror work. Louise Hay, obviously, most of us in the spiritual world know that throw tarot cards, because she's made an awful lot of oracle decks. She's written a ton of books. Mirror work started as an exercise to help with self-confidence and also with inner child issues, but it has gone to the next level. There are so many other things that you can do with mirror work in terms of helping you, like with your self-confidence, body image issues, all kinds of issues. And I actually had someone say to me one time, well, I don't like anything about myself, so I don't want to look at myself, right? And it's like, well, then don't start with a body size mirror. Start with a compact, those little mirrors that you can buy in the dollar store that you would put in like a locker or something. Just a little round mirror. That's all you need, because really all you want to do is look in your eyes, because your eyes are connected to your heart and to your soul, and your eyes are not going to lie to you. So that's the important thing, because it's about truth, right? And to also be aware of unexpected emotions will come out. Like you think you're just like, hey, and then next thing you know, you're crying. It like truly, it is such a powerful instrument. I actually have a sample on my channel where I did, and literally after 10 minutes, I was crying. So,
Wow. Wow. Thanks for sharing that. Thanks for sharing that.
It was
All right, so
it was
we,
Terry that
oh.
went there, so thank you. I love it.
Aw, Scott, you're so cute. He's like very kind, beautiful ladies. We love you, Scott.
Yes, we do love you. Scott.
He's a special soul, isn't he? He's very special.
And it's 5:55 my time, so you know what that means, friends.
Cinco de Mayo?
555 angel number 555 is all about change.
Oh,
All about
wow.
change.
Well, that's a good segue. Let's change over to pulling some cards. We're going to just do some oracle cards. I am a newbie. I'm going to try and get like a message from the card. And so whoever wants to go first, y'all go first, and I'll go third. And let's do one person each. Like Kelly, you do one person, and Terry, you do one person, and I'll do one person. This way, everybody gets a card, and we'll do 2 rounds. We'll do 6 different people.
Okay. And what do you mean by person? A person in the chat?
Yeah. Who would like a card in the chat? And then
I actually have a really cool idea. If you don't,
sure.
Can I? How many decks do you have on your table, Terry?
I have 4 on the table now.
How many decks do you have, Jean, on your table?
Let's just do 3.
Okay, so if everyone picks a number between 1 and 3 and sticks it in the chat, then we can go 1, 2, 3 and just give them their cards, right? So we get to pick whatever deck we want, whatever deck you feel speaks to that person. Pick a card, and it'll really, really help you. And we can get lots of people done. I do it all the time.
Can you explain it one more time? You lost me.
Okay. So if you have 3 decks on your table, right? They can say, well, see, they're doing it. They know me, right? Like 1, 2, or 3. So you either pull from deck 1, pick from deck 2, or pull from deck 3 and give them a card. So they're literally picking their own card is what they're doing.
Okay.
So are you saying like T-Barb has 3 here, and I think Juno had 3. So I picked out of my 3rd deck, and they all get the same card.
Yeah. Well, you just whatever card comes out of deck 3, and then I don't put it back in the deck. I just pick a new one, right?
Okay. Got it.
Yeah. And of course, I'll change it up because I have
said
10
that
on
they
my.
wanted a card.
Yeah.
Can we take those too?
Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely.
Oh. Okay.
All right. Kathleen's up first, right?
Yeah.
All right, Kathleen, I'm ready for you, love. Watch this. I never do this fast, but here we go. All right. I've got, from the secret language of color, I've got lemon. Look at how glorious that is. Lemon. Access innovative thinking, which is exactly what Kathleen is trying to do as she works up her and practices her mediumship skills. So that's perfect card for her. All right.
So does that mean I picked a card out of my number 1 deck?
Yeah.
I
think we're going to go on to the next person, though.
Yeah, you're going to go to Butterfly Kisses Healing. There you go.
Okay. So now I got to shuffle one more time.
Sorry.
Well, I'm catching on. Okay, Butterfly Kisses Healing, number 1 deck is Precious Gift.
Beautiful.
Friendship, family, and love are precious gifts. Do not lose sight of what's most important.
Love it.
All right. I'm still Holly Duchesne. I'm sorry you're stuck with me, but I have the 7 Energies Oracle. So I'm just going to shuffle and pull a card for Holly Duchesne. And I have Roots of Abundance. Good for you. Look at those roots. Roots of Abundance for Holly Duchesne. Mm. You have done your work to establish your roots and the growth and the potential of abundance is before you.
Wow.
Your roots are strong and your abundance will be great.
It's almost like she's spreading her roots out. You know what I mean? Like just digging them down into the dirt, like get deeper. I love that.
I feel like she's done a lot of work. I feel like has a lot of she's just uncovered and unraveled a lot of her own mysteries and laid down those roots. Like every time she learns a lesson, she digs it into the ground and connects it to Gaia. And she gets through another stressful time, learns a lesson, and that goes into the ground. Like she's rooted. Yeah, that was really good. All
Love
right.
it.
Sorry, I took a little longer. All right, Kelly, the next one is G. Covington.
All right, my friend, this is what I've got for you, G. I've got from the Sacred Traveler Oracle, I've got solitude, and that is in silence, peace prevails, which is exactly what we were talking about before. When you take that moment, right? When you when I was saying about doing the visualization and doing that exercise with the star, where I'm trying to tune up or work out my third eye. So I hope that you like that. All right.
All right, Terry.
Mhm.
The next one I have is Juno.
Juno, my dear Juno. Okay, I'm using my guardian angels deck, and you got relaxed. There is plenty of time to do and achieve all you desire. Place your hands gently on your heart and allow your breath to guide you to a quiet space within. Imagine yourself bathed in golden light flowing from the eternal heart of God. I, your guardian angel, am with you. Allow me into your heart. We will accomplish more by focusing on that which is most important in life, love.
Oh,
Beautiful. I love that deck. The
Yeah,
Guardian Angel Oracle, they're so pretty.
I have to get that. I have to get on it. Okay, the next one is Gypsy JJ. And Gypsy JJ, I am pulling from the Shaman's Dream for you. And what I pulled is diamonds or dances on one foot, the balancing act. Does that say dances on one foot, right?
Yep.
Wow.
Beautiful card.
Gypsy JJ.
So card number 9, which is the angel number 999, is about.
Well, I'm just going to read this one for Gypsy.
No, I'm just saying, like card number 9, if you look at the angel number, it's about releasing. And there's something about the balancing or dancing on one foot and the releasing. I don't know why I made that connection, but that's where I was going. Sorry.
wow.
Random. I don't know what goes on in my mind. I can't tell you.
Oh, wow. I'm learning, so
Okay.
I think that your spiritual foot, because I didn't notice, it's a little hard to see that there is like a fairy with her leg up in the air, like a ballerina dancer right here above my finger. There's a leg up in the air and a leg down. And she's about to take one step, but your spiritual foot, your foot, you're balancing your spiritual foot You're balancing your spiritual steps with your ego or human steps. You're balancing your right brain and left brain. You're balancing your heart and your soul. You're balancing your spiritual essence with your human essence.
It's kind of like what when Terry Lee is doing the series with like I'm sorry, what is it? It's walking in two worlds, or right?
Yeah.
Exactly. Balancing two worlds. Yeah. Thanks, Gypsy JJ. And thanks for your patience, because I'm trying to get a message from an oracle card. And I just haven't practiced a lot. That's kind of why I wanted Kelly to help us with the oracle cards. All right.
Gina, I'm gonna give you a hint. Okay. So when you take your deck of cards, because a lot of readers do this, you take your deck of cards, you can cut them 3 times with are you right-handed or left-handed?
I'm just pulling a card right now.
No, but this is how you can transfer your energy into the card to help you get the message. So if you're right-handed, you cut the deck 3 times with your left hand. Right? So you pick it up and you put it into 3 different piles, and then you scoop it up. You take your right hand, which is your predominant hand, and you knock on the deck, and that's how you transfer your energy into the cards, so they say. And it works for an awful lot of readers. So just that's why I mentioned. Nancy Breaker, I got this for you, love. I love this card. This is from Sacred Destiny Oracle, and look at the image on this. Look at the image on it. Look at the double rainbow.
Wow.
And this is the card of miracles. Right? So I think that you should be on the lookout as you travel about this weekend, whether you're just looking out your window or maybe you're outside, maybe you're going for a car ride. I think that you should look out your window, because I want you to tell me if you see this double rainbow. This is going to be a message for you, I think, if you see this. So be on the lookout for that, my love. Beautiful card. Love that. Miracles.
That is amazing. Okay.
Nice. So the next one is T-Barb for Terry.
T-Barb. Okay. So T-Barb, I'm going to be using the Priestesses of Light deck. It's a kind of a heavy deck, but wow. I got friendship. And the 3 words are support, unity, and play. The number on it, in case this means anything to you, Kelly, is 14. And I'll read the book real quick. The 2 smiling young women on this card look over the beauty of their homeland with joyous appreciation, the profound kindred connection that they share. This card is telling you that it is an important time to reconnect with friends and loved ones in order to experience the camaraderie and joint intentions of your soul. There is a powerful vibration that comes from the connection forged in shared history, philosophy, and loving experiences. And what's interesting about this deck is they always give an affirmation with the card. So in case you want to say this affirmation, it says, I open myself to the supportive connections around me. I join in the fun and joy that these loving friendships can bring.
Oh,
it's a beautiful card.
That's pretty. Okay, so the next one is Blessed 1111, and I pulled your card, and it is Joan of Arc, and it's a Voice of Truth.
Beautiful.
And Blessed 1111, I think that this is the part of you. Let me see, it does say something at the bottom here. It says, stand strong, focus on your purpose, release the fear of persecution, and speak your truth. Wow.
I love
Boy,
that.
that's really deep. Stand strong and focus on your purpose. This is, I think that you have this aspect inside of you, blessed 1111, and this is just reminding you that you have it inside of you whenever you need it.
Beautiful.
Hope that means something. Good. And the next one is G. Covington for Kelly.
We did G. Covington already.
Oh, we did? Okay. Then Mary Thornberry.
And just as an interesting note, I have the same sort of looking flower as the card that Jean just pulled for Blessed 1111, which I just think is interesting. So this is what I've got for you, Mary. This is from the Angel Quest Oracle. This is Going Within. That's just a beautiful image on that card. It's card number 23, which equals 5, which is about change. Just coinciding that keeps happening. So it's going within. The angels are asking you to calm your mind and feel the power of spirit within you. So we keep kind of getting those same kind of messages, right? About the roots and like doing that quiet kind of Zen chill kind of thing where you can really like exercise the connection. I love that. It's so interesting that when that happens.
I know. The themes come up.
Mm.
Okay, Terry, you have Dave Maud.
Dave Maud. Okay.
And let me see what time. He's the last one I have start at 5:57. Let me see who.
Okay.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. Excuse me, Terry, but somebody's asking me what deck is that, but I have not been watching the chat, so I'm sorry about that. Go ahead, Terry.
Okay. So I'm using the Healing Angels deck, and wow, our Dave, you got Archangel Raphael. And I'll read it. Feel yourself surrounded by my emerald green light. I, Archangel Raphael, offer you healing and solace. The storm clouds will soon clear and the sun will shine eternally bright. Trust.
I love
Wow.
that. Beautiful.
Okay. I'm just trying to get a couple. Aw. Sorry, I wasn't getting the responses. I'm overwhelmed learning a new trick, right? Aw, Dave Maud, Tracer Ralph, Gypsy JJ, they're all saying thank you. Aw. And Warrior Girl, Kathleen, they're all loving their cards. Thank you. I'm sorry, I just wasn't watching that.
It is difficult. That's why I do the thing, because then I don't have to star it, and I can stay in the chat literally.
I was
because I'm
starring
on
them.
myself, right?
I was starring them.
You know what I'm doing, love? I'm literally sitting over here on this side trying to click on your stuff as if it was mine. I'm like, hello. I've been in too many lives today. I just want to point out that Dave Maud put this comment in, and I love it. We are 6:09 my time. So I'm Eastern. I'm not sure. Are you Eastern also? Yeah, we are each other's. Boom. I'm like, nailed it. I love that.
We are each other. Boom. Mic drop. Very well said, Dave. Thank you very much for your participation. And thank you, everybody in the chat, for your participation. I really love including everybody in the chat, and I will get better at it. And I really wanted to do 1/3 with some wellness discussions, 1/3 with some spiritual discussions, and 1/3 just playing and pulling cards. I think I'll have to practice pulling cards a little bit more. I'm used to just drifting off and pulling down messages from spirit, but this was a lot of fun, and I just wanted to thank everybody. I also wanted to ask if you would, I have a small favor. If you would just go over to the like and hit the like on your way out, that would be wonderful. And also, I wanted to announce that I'm offering a chance to win a free reading. I am, my new goal for subscribers is 575. And if you enter, if you put in the comment box, not in the chat, but in the comment box, joy to the world, and I actually hit 575 in that live or in that show, you'll be entered to win the free reading with me. So this is just a fun way to try and get to 575. Also a fun way to put joy to the world. Let's scream joy to the world. I think we need so much joy. Just focus on the joy. So there's so many reasons why I wanted to do this, and I know that people here in the chat will be wonderful. And I know that a lot of people don't get to see these as we're going live. I have a lot of people that watch it after and throughout the weekend. So I just wanted to be able to put it out there for everybody. If you would like a chance for a free reading, just enter Joy to the World in the comments. And if I hit 575 on that show, you'll be entered to win the free reading in that show. So that sounds familiar. I did. I stole that little idea from Sterling. he's up to 19,000. I'm only up to 575. But I thought it would be a fun thing to do. But thank you very much.
Everybody's singing this song now, Jean. Joy to the World.
Joy to the
Everybody's
World.
singing the song in the chat.
Absolutely. Thank you guys for singing Joy to the World, because I think that that is really what's most important, and spread the word, right? Spread the love, spread the feeling. And it sort of goes with my psychedelic background that I chose to put up here today. But Kelly, thank you so much for joining us on this Friday night. And thank you for your expertise. Thank you for your patience. I love having you here, and I'm looking forward to, I'm actually going to be doing some live readings for Allie Heart and Soul Connected on Sunday at 1. And then right after that, I'll be on Kelly's channel, dzncats4me Wellness, or Oracle's Wellness, and Tarot. So I will be on Kelly's channel. So please come on over there and see us on Sunday. And thank you, Terri, very much for your time, your expertise, your patience, and your support. I love reading with you. I love chatting spiritual concepts with you. I just love being hanging out with you. So thank you very much for your time.
Well, I love hanging out with you too. And I'll be hanging out with you Monday.
Oh, yes, we'll be on Monday with Joan and Terri, and I got to get that. Not that far ahead yet. Yes, Joan, Terri, and I will be doing regular psychic readings on Monday, and it'll be a lot of fun there. So, and thank you everybody in the chat very much. It was so much fun. I felt like very connected to everybody today, and thank you for playing along with us and having patience with this new concept that I wanted to try.
Wow, I think you did a fabulous job. And I want to say, yeah, it was really good. You did fine. And
thanks.
Thank you for having me. It's you know what? This is great to be here. I feel I'm amongst friends, and so I appreciate that very much.
Yeah. And I don't know if any moderators can put Kelly's, I have it in the description box if you'd like to go over and subscribe to Kelly's channel. And she has wonderful, heartfelt, I'm telling you, Kelly, I was listening to one of your shows, and I was kind of like closing my eyes and relaxing. And you had such heart, such love, such I was like, wow, I could feel the emotion coming right through, and the care and the sincerity that you send out to everybody, and you just hold everybody in such a beautiful energy. It's really, you do a beautiful job. You're making a difference, and
I appreciate that very much.
Yeah, I appreciate what you do.
I'm pretty much. I'm telling everybody, like, if you turn on YouTube this weekend, I almost am issuing a challenge, because I'm pretty much going to be everywhere. I literally, this is my third show today.
Well, that sounds like fun.
I've had an absolute blast today, and I have sort of run the gamut. I've tossed cards. Now I've been with you guys and having this wonderful discussion. And before that, I was on my own channel where I was just laughing up a storm. And we did a whole show on the history of May the 6th. So it was so interesting, the things that we read on. And it's just been a wonderful day.
Well, that's wonderful.
Wonderful, wonderful day. So thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem. Terri Suzuki, please go over to her channel. It's Kigaru Spiritual Journeys. And Terri has amazing content. So she shares some experiences that she has, and it's the spiritual experiences that she has. And her storytelling technique is just bar none. It is really beautiful, very interesting, and she has you sitting on the edge of your seat. And Terri, you also are doing private readings. Is that correct?
Yes, I'm doing private readings, and I'm hoping that if it stops raining, I'm going to put out a video, at least by Monday. So,
because you like to do them outside, right? I think that's
yeah,
fabulous.
I like to do it outside. And this time, it's going to be about my mom. A lot of people have seen that I put a lot of videos out about my dad. I'm going to put this one out about my mom, and it's going to have a little bit of shadow work in it. Yeah.
Nice.
Well, that does remind me to tell everybody that this is Mother's Day weekend. And I'd like to say happy Mother's Day to all of you hardworking, amazing, strong women out there who are mothers. And just want to send love and light out to everybody. And thanks again for joining us. Bye.
Buddy. Bye.
Blessings.